Hi, I'm Chalene Johnson. I'm here with Dr. Mcayla Sarno, who's answering many of my questions and your questions specifically about EMDR therapy. It's something that you've heard me talk about in my Car Smart programs, at my live events, and it's something that I've just been fascinated by because I've seen the amazing results that people have gotten from it.
Well, EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing. And basically what it's doing is taking people who have stuck memories and we're unsticking them. So we look at what those thoughts are, what that negative belief is and where it comes from, what part of their life, and we hone in and focus on that. Now the reason that EMDR is so effective is because we're really focusing on core events and where those beliefs come from.
Okay.
And that makes it very different than conventional talk therapy.
I have to tell you that the other day, and I shared this with you, my son said to me, "Mom, how come you have like so many friends that go to therapy?" You know, it's only a 15-year-old boy could ask, right? Who knows everything. And I thought about it for a minute, because I thought, that's kind of a good question. How come I do have so many friends in therapy? And then I realized it's because I have really, really smart friends. Being a whole package is finding experts to help you be your best. Why wouldn't you go to someone who can help you with that advanced form of thinking?
So it was created technically for veterans of war, rape victims, people of that nature. We use it now on addictions, anxiety, depression. It's pretty much used anybody
Obviously
who's a
weight loss,
yes.
And anyone who's a human being. That's right. Everyone in this room has issues, and that's not meant to be mean. It's just, if you're a human, you have issues. It just means you've had to deal with some things, and our brains don't always process them the way that they should, in the way that will allow us to achieve the type of success that we deserve. What do the people have in common who are able to lose the weight, keep it off, and then something about them seems to change, like who they are and how they feel about themselves? And what I found is that their common denominator for most of them was dealing with some issue from the past, like getting a good therapist.
We know that when somebody is gaining weight or using food as an emotional comfort, that we look at this as emotional eating.
Okay.
Why are they eating emotionally? Where is that coming from? So we go through their history and we look at some of the events in their lives and where that might be causing them to want to eat emotionally. Then we pinpoint exactly what those memories or those events were and what that negative belief about themselves that they're constantly hearing in their heads. And it's really easy because if you ask someone, you know, that self-talk that we do, you hear yourself, God, I'm so stupid, or God, I wish I would. And people,
I'm so fat, I'm so ugly,
right.
Everyone thinks I'm fat. Even when people are thin, I'll hear people say that. They'll say, you know, I've lost the weight, and everyone tells me I look great, but I still feel like ugly and fat.
And we change the negative belief through EMDR so that that block is gone. So we have two parts of our brain. In the back of our brain is the survivor part of our brain, and it tells the frontal part that processes things to shut down when it's too much or it's overwhelming.
Yes.
So when we're doing the back and forth movement, we're distracting the survivor, so now the front part can go into REM, sleep mode, and process while you're awake in the same way that when you're sleeping.
It's so cool. But when you do this, it is almost like you're dreaming, but you're fully awake. But normally, you know how like there's something that's troubling for you, and you go, I don't want to think about it. I'm just, boom, it's gone. Like you give it a split second, and then you move on past it because you're like, I'm over it, and I'm not going to go there. And our brains are really powerful at allowing us to do that. But when you're doing the EMDR, you can't. But it's not painful. It's weird. It's like you said, stuck. It's like normally you go, here's that thought, and boom, I'm over here. But when you're doing the EMDR, you're like, okay, here, I'm in that thought, and now I'm going to process it. I'm going to untangle it. This is not painful. This is not that bad. And then when you finish, you're like, wow, I just untangled this whole mess that I've been avoiding for 20 years or 30 years or 5 minutes. And what I love about EMDR, and what I've heard from so many of our friends and associates and very, very successful people kept hitting the same roadblock, was that they were astonished how quickly they took something they've done therapy, struggled with depression, struggled with failed marriages, struggled with failed businesses, and in less than 3 sessions, they've wiped it out.
3 sessions, 80 to 90% success rate.
You said something to me the other day that I was like, oh, that's brilliant, because we had a friend who was afraid to do the EMDR because she said, I don't even know where I would start. There has been such upheaval in my life. I don't even know, you know, how I could afford to deal with each one of those individual memories. And you called a term that you use a push trauma. So explain to people what a push trauma is, how there's this one event that sometimes kind of knocks down the other ones.
Well, a lot of people come to therapy and their first thought is, I'm going to have to go through every event, which is conventional talk therapy types will have you do that. But with EMDR, we look at the earliest memories first, because it's a domino effect, and it might affect...
The earliest, most traumatic memory, the earliest, most disturbing memory, what?
Pivotal memory.
Pivotal.
Life-changing memory.
Okay.
A memory that has some clout behind it. If we just get ourselves into a position, which is what EMDR does, our brain will do the work for us. So that's what makes EMDR so easy. A lot of people think, am I going to be able to do this right? You can't mess up EMDR. That's what's so great about it.
So tell me about the 5-day intensives that you do.
Well, how that would work is they'll come into town, they'll do 5 days in a row. And
what's 5 days in a row?
5 days of 90-minute sessions. And the reason is because that relationship is also important. So we want 5 days in a row together, 90 minutes, so that they don't have time to go off, get distracted, and it's all about them.
And if you would like more information on pricing or information about hotels, etc., more information about your 5-day intensive, they can reach out to you where?
McaylaSarno.com.
Okay, and there's a contact info there?
There. You can also go to EMDRthoughttraining.com.
EMDRthoughttraining.com and McaylaSarno.com, and right there, can they see it? Is the 5-day intensive right on the homepage?
5-day intensive all over the place.
Sweet.
Right from the front page.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, guys. If I had to use one word to describe my closest friends and my some of the people colleagues who have gone through EMDR, if I used one word to describe the change in them, I would say calm.